Now, from the Institute of Fundamental Sciences, his name is Ben Munro. His presentation is called Does It Flow? A round of applause for Ben Munro.
Fluids are everywhere in this world, from the rain that we're all a bit too well acquainted with, to the tomato sauce that we have on our fish and chips every once in a while. And they're really simple to understand, right? So, me being a scientist, I'm going to have to ask you all to come along with me and do a quick little thought experiment. Now, I want you all to imagine we've got a bottle full of water here. I'm going to unscrew the lid and tip it upside down. Now, what's happened? Well, of course, I've got a little bit of a puddle to clean up later, but answering my question here, does it flow? Of course it does. It's simple, it's easy, it's basic, right? But are all fluids like this? Thinking of that tomato sauce I mentioned just a moment ago. You're sitting at a nice sunny beach with your fish and chips there, down to the last few chips, last little bit of tomato sauce in the bottle. We're going to go and tip the sauce out and nothing happens. The sauce doesn't move. It stays stuck in the top of the bottle. It does not flow. It sits there looking almost like a solid. And that's actually really interesting because it sort of is a solid. So tomato sauce is what's known as a type of soft material or soft matter. Now, soft materials are really cool. They're everywhere in this world, and they're hugely valuable. Now, one of the important properties of soft materials is that they can have both solid-like and liquid-like characteristics at the same time. In my PhD, I'm looking into one specific type of soft material, that is an emulsion. Emulsions, for those of you who don't already know, are quite simply just mixtures of oil and water where we have small oil droplets dispersed throughout a bigger bulk water phase, much like what we've got in the micrograph behind me there. Now, with my emulsion, I've been selectively tuning the interactions between my oil droplets. I've been ranging them from attractive interactions between the droplets, that is, my oil droplets are basically glued together, all the way through to repulsive interactions between my oil droplets. That is, they really don't want anything to do with each other at all. And we've targeted a continuum between these two extremes as well. Now, with my attractive and repulsive emulsions, I have been looking at how they flow, how solid-like or liquid-like they are. To do this, I've been using a tool similar to what I've got in the middle of my slide there, which spreads our emulsions. We've found some really interesting results. We've found that our attractive emulsions were much more solid-like than we would have initially predicted and require much, much more force to get them to move or flow, while our repulsive emulsions were actually rather liquid-like and flowed rather easily with only a little bit of force required to get them moving. So what does this all mean? What use is it? Who cares if your soft material is solid or liquid? Well, as I mentioned earlier, soft materials are everywhere in this world. And now I can actually control how solid-like or liquid-like they are. Now we can squeeze the bottle and get that last little bit out. Now I can get that last little bit of tomato sauce out of the bottle. Thank you.
Just want to have one of those television programs, Ben Munro, Does It Flow?
I wouldn't know anything about television, would you?
Well,
Judges.
Ben, thank you very much for an interesting topic. I don't like tomato sauce. I never have. So I'm kind of tempted to be switched off from the start, but I made a mistake. Because actually what you're dealing with is an omnipresent phenomena, flowing liquids, which we need to better understand constantly. And you've started out in what we would have called traditionally blue sky research. Sounds very boring, sounds it's only queer people would go into a laboratory and muck around with things that no one others would understand. But actually the outcomes of your research may actually have very important results because of the omnipresence of the phenomena that you're studying. So I'm not quite sure where the results are going to go, and possibly you're not even yourself now, but you've got interesting research underway, and I commend you for that. Thank you very much, despite my dislike of tomato sauce.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. I'm not a great fan of tomato sauce either, but I really like. But I really like. No,
Are you Australian, the two of you? It's unpatriotic.
No, just what I really like is an empty bottle when it's all gone. So I'm taken with that, and that is, when you talk about your continuum from the attractive to the repulsive in terms of molecules and the way you can control it, it's quite interesting. And to find a value and an important benefit, it just must do something to do with waste. And there's so much waste, and if you can control the waste by containing the flow and make it flow, perhaps reframe your heading to flow all the time, or flow forever. I think that's a magnificent topic, and thanks for sharing it the way you did. You're enthusiastic and you're passionate about it. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben Munro.